From the Teddy Belanger Memorial Studio in Rome, New York, welcome into episode 109 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name's Todd Emanuele. You got Ryan Boyles over there on the far side. On the road this week, little hotel Wi-Fi issues to start things out. You didn't know anything about it. I shouldn't have said anything because nobody knew.
No,
But
it's going to
we're
be perfect when people hear it on Friday.
Right. It's absolutely going to be perfect. We are here for another fun show. We have a very good guest on again for, I think, his third time, at least third time. Daniel Coston is back with us. And Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by.
Man, good to see you guys again. It's been an eventful year. There's a lot going
Yeah.
on in Avett world and just things in general. And I'm really happy to catch up with you guys again. It's been and all things Avett and beyond, as it were.
And beyond. Yes. And speaking of the beyond part, we're going to start talking about something that you've been doing with the show that you've had going on. And where's my information here? Let's see. So it's Music as an Image. You've had an art show going on. It's in North Carolina?
Yes, it's in Charlotte. It's at Arts Plus, which is a nonprofit facility here in town that provides schooling to kids for the arts and music. It's a really great space, and I am set up in the sanctuary area, meaning I am actually in a 1920s church.
It's very cool. You sent me some videos and pictures. I'm going to post some of that along with the episode so people can see it. But it is a cool spot. And tell me more about it.
This was offered to me several weeks ago, and they just said, do you want to do this? And especially given the venue and the fact I had not done a show in Charlotte, a public show in Charlotte in some time, I just thought, yeah, let's do this. And of course, I walked in with a different idea for a show of like locals and nationals and this, like internationals. And eventually the room said, no, it's this. And it's really an exhibition of a lot of faces that people recognize, everything from Paul McCartney to Ringo Starr to our friends, the Avetts, and Tony Bennett and many, many others. And it I really wanted to it gives you a sense of some of my travels. Many of the pictures in the show are Charlotte based or were taken in Charlotte, but really it's about, the musicians and people that we love and trying to put a visual to their music. And I have to say, when I walked out of that show after, fussing and putting this thing together, figuring out what the show was, this is a good show. I think you get a sense that there's somebody behind this camera that really cares about the music and the people focused in it.
And you've done a
Daniel,
lot.
can you tell us more about? I would love to know. I know as a photographer, you probably have a lot of shots to choose from, and so yes, narrowing it down to maybe the Charlotte focus is one way of narrowing it down. But I guess was it difficult to sort of pick your favorites?
It was. I always say that the room tells you. The room says, okay, what about this picture of Anthony Hamilton next to the Flaming Lips? Or Willie Nelson in this corner, or the Avett brothers in this corner next to these people. And you have to listen and figure that out. And so thankfully, I have enough prints and photos and sources I can pull from my own archives and say, okay, what is this show? And again, it's not quite the show I originally envisioned, and we may do that at a future date. I actually am going to be back at this space, Arts Plus, next year. I originally had planned to do a show of social event photography, which I've done in Charlotte the last 30 years, but I feel like that's changing. Even now that's changing. I may just surprise people and do an Avett Brothers show.
Nice.
So
Don't tease us like that, okay?
Well, I was gonna later on, and we might as well do it now. I was gonna put this out to you guys and the folks who listen. Thank you for following all this madness, and I would love to see what the Avett fans would like to see. I've toyed with the notion of doing a show of just the Mignonette studio pictures, which some of them have seen in the reissue of Mignonette, but there's a lot that you haven't seen from that or Robbinsville or Emotionalism.
All of the above.
That might happen. That might happen. I would love to, because there's something about the guys when they're working and recording that's different than them on stage. And I think my pictures, especially in those times, speak to that. So that might happen. I'm open to suggestion. on this. It never fails that you walk into a room with one idea and something else says, no, what about this? And this show is a very good example of that.
How many pictures from those times are out there that nobody has seen? Like,
There's a bit. There's a good bit. One thing I did when COVID hit was to go back and I found number of photos and rolls of film that even I had forgotten about. I had a whole roll or two of them promoting Mignonette at WFAE here in Charlotte, and that was a really good, like them touring on Mignonette. There were several rolls that just literally I had not thought about in 20 years that turned up. So those still remain to be seen, and there's some good pictures in that, if I'm allowed to say so. Yeah.
So you could, well, of course you are. You could do a series of shows with all of these pictures, and I think people would flock to see them. I don't think I'm wrong with that.
I hope so. I mean, the response that we had to the show in Shelby in 22 was amazing. And one of the reasons why I haven't done it since is every venue that has approached me about says, well, one of the Avetts going to arrive. It's like, I wouldn't ask them of that, even if I thought they would do it. So, because they're busy.
Yeah.
They
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have strong opinions so I'm curious, and maybe this is too much of a tangent, but when you got those, sort of them working, and then they choose to use those in liner notes or promotions or what have you, are you giving them your critical thought of like what they should use, or are they picky about choosing it themselves?
I think they're largely choosing it themselves. I might say, I really like this picture. There's once or twice I say, I really like this, but no, what you see, mostly what they've I find out the same way you guys do. Like I get the copy and I'm like, oh, okay, they chose that one. Okay, yeah, okay, I've forgotten about that one. So there's still a bunch more from all the work I've done with the guys over the years that nobody's seen yet, and I'm partial to.
I would venture to guess. That it's been such a long time since that album was made, and others that you have, that I bet you they may want to see this show as well. So I think there's a good chance they'd want to see something like this get unearthed, especially of things like you said that nobody's seen, even you have in your archive.
I think they posted one of them on Facebook, and there's a picture of them like kind of leaning up against a white car. They were trying to work out a song. That's my car. That's one of the old cars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We used to call the ye old car that, like, I think when it eventually died on the highway, had like 307,000 miles. So there was a lot of that. Was the car that I traveled to for the Johnny Cash shows and Les Paul and so many artists over the last several years. So little things like that. I was like, yeah, that's the guys. That's my friends leaning against that, which some of my friends used to call the grandpa car. And well, yes, but it was a well-traveled grandpa car. So little things like that nobody's seen yet, largely or at all, that I think at the least I think would make a good show.
So you traveled all over the place, taking a million photographs, all these different photo shoots and stuff. When you have a show like this one that's going on right now, like Ryan said, it's got to be tough to narrow it down, but tell me numbers, like how many pictures did you have sitting in front of you and how many ended up in the show, and how hard really was it to get to that?
It was hundreds. And again, I was sort of like, I had a couple different points where I sat down and said, what about this? What about this? And I was trying to focus on things that people hadn't seen before. And there's still a lot of photos in the show that's up now that nobody has seen before. But it was, again, it's like you're standing here in front of this computer. You go, okay, what about this? What about that? And then you get in the room and things change. And sometimes it's a physical thing of the room, the vibe, the lighting, what works in that room. And sometimes it's just you that day. It's just like, okay, I thought I was going to go this way, and now I'm going to go this way. So it's one of the things I recommend not watching me do, because I kind of, it's sort of, it's like you're almost like trying to escape from your own brain, and like, okay, what works, what, and you kind of, it's like you're talking out loud to the room, and hopefully in an hour or two you figure it out. So
well, is your attitude more like you get to that point where it's like, okay, it's good enough that you don't want to make more changes, or do you have that sort of aha and just lock it in?
I think more it's the aha. And this show, there was a point where we got near the end, even after that first day, it took a couple of days to like, okay, this works. I like this show. It needs a few more pictures. It needs a few more here. I'll go back and either print or I'll pull some stuff from, my archives. By the end of it, it's like, I'm more of a feel person. I'm more one of those, like, does this feel right? If it's talking back to me and says, okay, no, this is the show that works right here, right now, then okay, let's go with that. So I've had that show in the past where it's like, it's okay, it'll do. But this one thankfully said, no, this is what you were searching for, at least right now.
And the photographs in this show are amazing. Like,
thank you.
the video you sent me, you went from picture to picture, and I'm like, it's in a church, or you called it a sanctuary.
Yeah.
But it felt like going around looking at all these pictures. You had music playing in the background. It was like a religious experience seeing all these artists. I'm like, man, I really wish I could be there to take that in.
Thank you.
Describe the venue. Like, did you feel that way too as you were setting it up?
I did, and so full disclosure, I am a wandering Catholic. I went to a Catholic school in upstate New York, Seneca Falls, and two of my great uncles, both of whom I knew, were two of the more prominent priests in central New York. So the church, Vincent Collins and Jim Collins. And so I grew up with that. And there's something about going into a church to this day. It's like, okay, this means something. It's more than just walking into a building. And I think that's one of the reasons why I took this show on. The venue calls it the sanctuary, but it really is a church. It was a church built in the 1920s. And again, I'm an absolute sucker for old venues and buildings, but there's a certain type of architecture and feel that you can't replicate in modern churches or any building for that matter that you get in a building like that. So it was like, and the venue had said, well, you can put stuff on easels. And I was like, no. This room is telling me that you walk into the room and you start here and you go around. And that was just me vibing it out and saying, okay, what works? And by the, again, it was an hour or two, or I wasn't quite sure where the show was going. But by the end of that first day, I was like, okay, I think I can see this now. And it has much to do with the space and the vibe in the room as it was the pictures.
I wonder how many people going in there actually think of that. Like, how much time goes into setting it up? Or do they think, oh, they just threw these pictures up on the walls?
I think sometimes it's better that you don't.
Okay.
The person who does it all, you think, I want everybody to know that, I spent days and weeks and hours. Like, no, I think sometimes you kind of have to accept and say that's something different. You want people to come in and wherever they are and whatever they're feeling from the show, that it works for them. It speaks to them on their terms. So while I'm happy to verbalize that to you guys, I think ultimately if somebody gets something out of the show that is wholly removed, but again, talks to them and they feel something, then I did my job.
Yeah, I got something just from the video you sent me. So
thank you.
Well, I'm curious about the music too. So did this experience you ended up creating with how you wanted people to sort of go through it and the venue itself, did that affect also those music choices?
It did. So a lot of Nick Drake, which I've been back into lately. I actually did play a couple of records that I produced. I put the Becky's record that the reissue that I produced in February. I think I played the Circle record at least once. There's always a little bit of Left Bank, whose work a band I did work with as well, not too far away. Again, sometimes it's a feel thing. It's like you're heading out the door and says, okay, you say, well, okay, how do I feel? What do I feel like listening to right now? What goes with the show? I sometimes say that the less you think about it, the better.
right.
And there was some Simon and Garfunkel as well, so that's a lifelong thing with me as well. So yeah, again, I think I had Nick Drake on, or one of those artists on when
I couldn't quite tell in the video what was playing, but
yeah, I had it purposely off in the corner. Yeah, I have been tempted to play some of the unreleased stuff I've been working on at these shows and see if anybody notices. But I was like, nah, let's not tempt fate on that. So,
how long is the show going on for, and how can people get there?
Well, and actually, originally, as we talked about doing this talk tonight, I wasn't sure that the show would last the week because I had been told that there was a show coming in or a performance going on at Arts Plus this weekend, next weekend, and they wanted the pictures out. So I went today to take down the show, and the director who's doing this program said, "No, I love this. I love these shows, so please keep them up." So I'm happy to tell
That's
you
great.
that yeah, it's like you love hearing that. It's like, wait, I don't have to take this home. I don't have to take this to my storage space. Great. This weekend and next weekend, as we're talking, the Charlotte Gay Men's Chorus will be there doing a performance at Arts Plus. I think they're also playing next Thursday and Friday. And the plan is right now is to keep the show up until I have heard otherwise. So if you do go to Arts Plus, they usually open during the day, like more school hours, 8 to 2, 8 to 2:30. If anybody does wish to come and get a tour of the show from yours truly, please contact me through social media and Facebook and Instagram at Daniel Coston Photos on Instagram, or ye old Facebook at Daniel Coston, or my name at AOL.com. Who wants to know? Yes, I still have an AOL.com address, so I am hundreds of years old, so now you know. Reach out to me, and if you, I will let everybody know when the show is down. And again, we will be doing this again sometime next year.
That's cool, but wait a minute now. So people can go to this and have you walk through and explain all the pictures, where you were and all that?
Time permitting, or my crazy schedule, but no, I really would love to be there.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I've actually done this the last couple of weekends, and it's nice to usually when I'm working, I'm either doing events or I'm out on the road working with a band. So it's nice to actually kind of I feel like I'm revisiting this work. I almost have to tap back into the kid that took all these pictures. I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
So you got me thinking here though. If the director and everybody's giving you such great feedback and loving it so much and wanting to extend it, I don't want to like tempt fate here, but I'm wondering if this could still be going on the same week as the North Carolina Hall of Fame, like in a month's time.
That would be.
You think that's a stretch?
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
As soon as I know something one way or the other, I will let you guys know. But if that's
would be a fantastic surprise for us. I guess.
Let's go. Yeah, keep it up.
If you didn't hear, Todd is making the trek down here to NC, and there might even be a chance that we do an Avetts Beyond live or something. We're cooking something up for his visit, so
why not?
Please come find me. I would love to be a part of that. I will tell you that, and this happens every year. I photograph the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Everybody calls for an event that day. So I am already booked for a golf tournament and an event for a magazine, and then I go to the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame. My plan is to be there by 7 at night.
Yeah.
So as usual, I'll be flying in on a wing and a prayer. Darn it, and I'm not gonna miss seeing this.
Of course, no, none of us can miss this thing.
Yeah. I mean, and I've actually through this show, I've had a couple of people come up and say, "Are you the guy that got David Childers inducted?" And I will just say, I had a part in that. But again, I will say, you guys told me. The fans said, you need to do this, and you need to do this now. So
that was nice. I mean, that was nice. I feel like there were so many people saying it, and obviously those voices were heard. So that's really nice.
So I'm glad to have played a part in that. And then awesome. I knew Dex Romweber. He's getting inducted. That was something that was big on my list. Chatty Hattie Leeper, who was the first black female DJ in Charlotte, and she's 85 years old and as hatty as ever. She'll be there. I'm really.
I want to see a DJ set from her. That would be amazing.
I've been searching for actually an air check of her for some time. I've heard that there's some that exist, but they're really hard to find. So I may have to create one myself. So I do that. I produce that. Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do. So what are the chances now? We talked about David Childers, like the last couple of years, getting him into the Hall of Fame. Now the new buzz that I'm hearing a lot of from like Dylan Walsh and stuff is Malcolm Holcomb.
Malcolm is on my list. I know, and Dylan reached out to me. Okay. I hope that he continue, I did suggest him, was like, don't make it a huge deal, make this a consistent push. Thankfully all the things with David lined up at such a point where, we could make this happen, and the voters responded. Much as I knew Malcolm as well, and I'm very happy to get behind that as well.
Okay.
I'm hoping that we can get this done in a year. If that doesn't, don't give up.
Right.
I mean, there's some people that I have been trying to. I've only been involved with this part of the Hall of Fame for a few years. There's still people that have been high on my list that I've even gotten to a final vote on multiple years. I still haven't yet. So, if only, but Dylan and other folks are doing the right thing, because it's getting Malcolm into the conversation and in front of people. Right. Malcolm was a singular individual. I will say that. I miss him dearly, and I know there's a lot of push to, just because you didn't have a hit on the radio doesn't mean that you changed lives. And David has changed lives, and Malcolm has changed lives, and there's a lot of people that in music in North Carolina has changed lives. And hopefully, if we can get those recognized either in the coming year or the years to come, then that's good.
He's in the conversation. That's good to hear.
Yes, quite.
Can I ask too about? So just to stay on the Hall of Fame for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
One of the coolest things that I wasn't really expecting I attended when the Avetts were inducted a few years ago.
Yep.
One of the coolest things for me, because I just geek out about, again, the process of things and the behind the scenes of everything. And so the exhibits, at the Hall of Fame Museum, were like a nice surprise. It's like such a cool touch that they present sort of memorabilia and merchandise and art and all kinds of instruments a lot of times, right, from these artists that are inducted in the Hall of Fame. So like, what is I don't know, do you have any like things you want to point out about the exhibit itself?
I think I have some pictures of the Avetts in the show. I know it's like the Avetts gave them a bunch of pictures, and they didn't know whether they came from me or somebody else. So it's always nice to walk by that and go, yeah, I took that. It's always nice to see what people bring in. I am blanking on the violinist or fiddle player that was inducted last year, and he passed away before we could induct him, but he knew that he was going to be inducted. His family gave us his violin and all these things that you're just like, wow, this means something to you, and it obviously means something to them to have it in the Hall of Fame. So last year, PD Pablo came and did an event, and he donated to the hall his basically the sampler and his computer system that he made his first album on. And he's basically said, my DNA is in this software. This is why I'm here. And you can tell he was like he got choked up that day. He got choked up at the induction ceremony. He's like, this was real. I mean, it meant something to him to be a part of the hall. So little things like that, it's really cool, and it's different for every person. So hopefully everybody, and if you haven't had the chance to come by the Hall of Fame, please come by. I don't know what David's is included or what people have donated to the hall. I know that some other past recipients have donated some really cool things recently that hopefully you'll see pretty soon. So definitely take the time to go through every person and see what they've donated. But yeah, it's like the littlest things. Like, man, that you gave us that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, and can I say too, I just want to like say it again. I know we've talked about this when you were on last time, but I just want to say it again for everybody and for you, just the photography that you donated from your archives for his charity, for our charity drive that we did for him. Those are so special too. There's like I love those moments that you found of him on that shot of him walking across the street holding the guitar case is just classic. There's just nothing like that.
I think I was in the neighborhood that day, and literally it was like David was hanging out at the Muse and then walking across the street, and I just yelled at David. He turned around. It's like,
So that was not like a coached thing. It was just like
no, it
you
wasn't.
found a moment.
Just
Yeah.
a candid shot. That's so
And it
cool.
just rained. It had just rained.
Yeah.
It just stopped raining. And it was just like, I remember he started to walk away. I was like, dang, that looks good. So I just yelled at him and took a, and that's
Yeah.
all on film too. So it was
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. So it was like, and I
Really
really
nice.
enjoyed kind of revisiting those again when we put those photos together for the auction.
So I gotta say, now you got this show going on in Charlotte right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually giving tours at the show, and now I'm gonna say this. This is like going to a record or a recording studio and having Rick Rubin let you sit in on a session. I mean, having you show and talk about your pictures, that's special. I mean, you are an amazing photographer, one of the best in music, like ever. And people can go and see a show and have you talk about where you were, and that just blows my mind.
Thank you. And I was very lucky years ago. I got to do photos of a gentleman like his name was Herman Gottlieb. He did, like, if you've ever seen the Billie Holiday postage stamp picture, that was a Herman Gottlieb picture. And he came and spoke at an event in Charlotte. And unfortunately, his wife, I think, got her purse stolen that morning when he pulled into the airport. So he was not a very happy person. But there's something about, and I have pictures of it, he's sitting there in a chair in front of the Billie Holiday photo going, this is a photo I took in 1942. And it's just like, you're, again, I don't put myself in Mr. Gottlieb or any of the photographers who influenced me.
We can.
But thank you. But it's like, it's something different and something special when you actually get that. And you will find that if you're there talking with me, I can remember, I look at the picture and the whole shoot comes back.
Wow.
I even was showing the show to somebody over the weekend. I was like, God, I hadn't thought about that in years. So, but it's like, it's the wonderful thing for me about photography is like, I can see it and I'm back there, or the person who I was at the time comes back and says, do you remember this? Do you remember that weird thing that happened right before the picture was taken? So it's been wonderful. Again, it's nice for me to revisit these pictures and go,
it's great.
God, this kid's crazy, but I think there's a future for him in this. So
I think it's probably, let me just go out on a limb and say it's probably like extra magical, the memories that come from this, because it's not just the visual, it's audio and visual, if you will. You've got the music, which music triggers a lot of feelings and memories, and like it's almost like your music and your style, they say it gets locked in when you're at that certain age, and then it becomes just permanently etched in your mind, and as you get older it brings that right back to you, and I think you're combining both of those things, which makes it even more magical.
Well, thank you for saying that.
And you're one of my favorite guests on the show because you have all these stories in your brain that you remember from everything.
And I'm thank you, and I really try to get these out. I've learned more and more, and as I've done more archival work or producing work, you're constantly chasing to get these stories down. I'll tell you something I was working on this summer there was a story that was done on me by the local PBS station, and they focused as much about the producing work I've done with different bands. And after that story aired, somebody who I knew 35 years ago reached out to me and says, well, produce this. And he had worked on a television show here in Charlotte. And of course, the master tapes are long gone because the station didn't save them. But a friend of his had made audio dubs of the complete concerts. And I was like, okay, yes, I will do this. But I said, this will take time. But until then, yes, I want copies when you're ready. And two, let me get these recordings into a university so that they are preserved. So, at least I think as it stands right now, a lot of my music work goes to UNC Chapel Hill. The Charlotte photography goes to UNC Charlotte. And I think some of the Carter family photos, the Cash Carter films, go to the University of Tennessee. None of which I attended, by the way. So, there you go. and we got that deal done. So he donated all the work to a local university, including these recordings, which are amazing, and a lot of names that you would recognize. And he sadly passed away of a heart attack 2 weeks later. And I'm so glad that he saw that story and said, "Oh, I want to share this with this guy." And so you never realize how fleeting these windows are to tell our stories or share these things with us. So in my work as a photographer, writer, archivist, but particularly as a photographer, I'm hoping that I've been able to share the stories not just of the musicians and people that I photograph, but also myself. So a little bit. So
Well, and that TBS special is great. Everybody should go seek it out if you haven't seen it.
Thank you. I think I've lost like 10 or 15 pounds since I did that, so I'm really proud of that too. But
you're your own worst critic. I know all about that.
Well, thank you. It's like, to my mind, I'm still like 4 years old, and I'm like this cute little kid, and I see myself now. I was like, how the heck did that happen? Like, when did I grow up? I know how I grew up, but still, it's I don't see myself. I literally, people are like, how do you picture yourself? How do you picture yourself in life? It's like behind a computer, or behind a camera, or behind a pen. I don't.
I think everybody locks in that sort of residual self-image, like the Matrix, that's locked in about 27 or 30 years old generally, or something.
Exactly. Especially when I'm revisiting my work from 25, 30 years ago. I actually was working on some photos I did of Whiskey Town today for an upcoming reissue. And again, it's like, I know the kid that took these pictures, but it's like, it alternately feels like it was taken yesterday or 100 years ago. So I at least know that the sensibilities that kid had when he took these pictures. Yeah,
that's cool.
So all right, so I've enough about you. We have to talk about Seth and I want your opinion. And I don't know if you've listened yet. What do you think of Feeve?
I have not listened to it yet. I have been a little crazy the last few weeks. I know it dropped while I was at the Scruggs Festival this year. I have heard what people have said, and I'm going to say that this doesn't completely surprise me.
Yeah.
Seth, it's interesting that Seth is at this point is kind of revisiting his influences of the 90s, both on the acoustic side, but also the hip hop side.
Absolutely.
They were as much influenced by the Beastie Boys as they were Doc Watson and, people always said that Nemo was punk. They were more metal. They were almost more speed.
Yeah, right.
And when I saw them, they were almost more speed metal. Or the way that we defined speed metal in the 80s and 90s. Right. So it's not a complete surprise. I'm happy to see Seth going in a different direction and surprising people. But again, I really need to listen to a couple of the songs.
Yes.
And
I want your opinion.
Well, let's. How about we do this? Like, I by the way, I had the same. Like, that was my first thought hearing the first song when I started listening. It was Beastie Boys. I was like, it sounded exactly like a Beastie Boys, like almost like a Beastie Boys, later years experimental thing too. So it was very much the 90s vibe. You're right. And by the way, aren't we all trying to relive the 90s at our age? I think, right? we're all feeling nostalgic for that era. But what I wanted to say was, Seth put out a Instagram reel, or maybe it's on his TikTok. You got to tell me, Todd, because I don't do the talks.
He didn't put it on TikTok yet. It's on his
Instagram. All right. Well, he did start a bunch of new social media channels.
I have to plug quickly. Seth's TikTok followed the Avetts and Beyond.
Well, yes. So we'll see. Well, you can message. I guess you can message him and ask.
I have, but I don't think Seth
whatever
has anything to do with his TikTok. But anyway,
what I'm trying to say though is that Seth put out a video yesterday, and kind of gave kind of a behind the scenes of that, him working on a new music video for the music, and he said he had been working on this album for 6+ years now.
Yeah,
and he in the course of working on the music video, kind of it unlocked a whole new like creative process for him, or a
Hmm.
whole new I can't remember his exact words, but essentially he got re-inspired to kind of tinker with the album more. He said he thought he was done with the album, and then he started working on the videos,
Hmm.
and now he said it's got 10 tracks plus a bonus story track, I think, an 11th track.
Oh, wow.
He's putting
Interesting.
out a music video for every track, and he's doing it once a week. So like the next video is going to drop tomorrow. He's already put out 2 videos. Another one's going to drop tomorrow, and then every week a new music video.
There's already 3 videos. This will be the 4th one already.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. And I really dug the third one, by the way, because he it's like black and white, and he looks like a carnival barker or something, and he's got his collaborator uh
Jessica Lee Mayfield.
just yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
couldn't
happy to
believe it.
see
I'm
Jessica
like,
again. I
she
saw
was
her.
doing like
Yeah.
this, it was a vibe. Let's just put it that way. And I was very much digging it.
All
One of
3
the things.
videos are very different too, by the way, so far. So I'm expecting them all to be very different.
So
So
here's what I want Seth to do is, I know
Mhm.
he's, out on the TikToks and all that trying to be cool, but we need a music video DVD like collection. That would be, I would love that.
I would love that too, actually.
With some behind the scenes photos maybe, or some
maybe
behind the
Daniel
scenes
Coston
clips,
could
or
produce it.
ah.
mm,
I
I.
think we lost something when we went from physical media to
Mhm.
streaming. And like, if you think, like, I was a super DVD nerd with
Mhm.
all the extras, and there was like artistry in the menus, and like there were secrets that you could unlock, and I just think that's very much their vibe, right? Of like
Yeah.
the,
Well,
and Seth.
there's something about the physical media that, whether it's a CD or video, especially vinyl,
Yeah.
for those of us who still love seeing our pictures on a vinyl record, it's just something about, yeah, this is it. This is what we've been working for. As artists, we do need that moment. Go, yeah, this is it, and I created this, and here it is. And you take that moment with it, and you try to share the story of its creation, and then hopefully you take that into the next project. So I would like to see. I could see them doing something physical down the road. If they asked, I would encourage them to do that, because also it's a way to mark our time of this creative process. Artists don't always admit it, but we need that. We need that to say, this was me at this moment, and I've done this, and I've created this, and I'm proud of it, and now I need to go do something else. So that's one of the things I do actually enjoy about doing these photo shows, whether I'm pulling stuff from 30 years ago or pictures of the Avetts from the New Year's Eve show. It's like, yeah, this is me, or this is the show I wanted to, this is the story I wanted to tell you at this moment.
that's cool. Okay, so now we need Scott to put out a rap album, maybe. Maybe
No,
he'll do
it's got
like
to be
opera
different.
or something.
I think Scott would do a different genre for sure.
Right, he should, as he should. And there was a new magazine article that came out today too, the Bear Magazine,
Mm,
bearmagazine.com, with Seth, and he mentioned in that article that a lot of his inspiration for this album was from Homeboy Sandman, who
yeah.
opened for them at Red Rocks this year, and everyone was like, "What is this?" No one knew it was like a precursor to Feeth coming out. But I thought that was interesting that he really said that Homeboy Sandman was a huge inspiration for him in hip hop. I guess that's not a surprise.
I think both Scott and Seth, for whatever reasons, and again, I wish I talked to them more regularly. I think that they're both kind of reaching places in their lives where they want to pull back influences from earlier times of their lives. I know Seth is definitely doing that on this record.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the next project is. So, and the next project may not be the Avett Brothers per se. It may be something else. There's part of me that is intrigued and proud of the kids for doing something that's surprising and flummoxing people, to use a 50 Cent word.
I love it. I love it.
It's like, okay,
I'm in 100% agreement. For me, I'm like, I love surprises that challenge you, and I
yeah,
think that's in and in a fun uplifting way, quite frankly,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what
And,
this is. It's the energy. It's um, we were talking with Tim Mossberger about this last week, and it's sort of like uh, he was saying it's like it's a you got to thread this needle just right. But I think for me, he pulls it off because it's like we need some positivity and some fun and some whimsy and some wit in our lives, and this delivers that in a really cool way.
It's
yeah,
so cool. I
and
love it so much.
surprise and joy. I mean, you don't realize how
Hmm.
much we need it in our lives or how hard it is some days to find it. So one of the reasons why I got back and I relapsed into my first magazine, Tangents magazine, 10 years ago was like I just wanted some joy again. I think Bloom County reconvened that same summer. It was like, yeah, I want to experience some joy again. So we did a 20th anniversary issue. We literally didn't tell anybody we were going to do it. We just dropped it on people's doorsteps and said, "Hi, we're back." And it was the most fun things I've ever done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very cool. All right, so you got to listen to Feed. You got to let us know what you think about it.
I
I
will.
absolutely love it. I'm like obsessed with it. I haven't stopped listening to it.
Mhm.
It shocked me how much I love it and that I can't stop listening to it. I was wondering at first if I would like it after I heard the first song, but it's great. It's like you said, it's just fun.
And
And
I'm just going to throw this out there and tell you guys that I don't think the guys are done this year. So this is an interesting year. This will be an interesting fall. So stay tuned.
you have inside information? Sounds like it. Well, those
Maybe.
eyebrows tell the story.
I'm okay with just the promise of more stuff. I'm good. We can stop there.
I think, yeah, so stay tuned.
Yes.
So
All right.
I will drop here. I won't drop the artist, but I am actually working with Ramsor right now on a project that'll be out next year. It has nothing to do with the Avett brothers whatsoever, but when you hear the project, you go, yeah, that's Daniel, and this is something cool it's something cool, and Ramsor should be the one to release it. So I'll be telling you guys about that pretty soon. So yeah.
And beyond, I think we need like a little buzzer track that we go like when somebody says something, we go and beyond.
And beyond. Yes.
Yeah, we could use that clip right there. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm excited now. I'm super excited now. This is cool. All right. I don't think we've ever done rapid fire questions when we've had you on.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you. Don't get too excited, but we're going to learn a little bit about Daniel Coston right now. Okay.
Oh, darn.
What is your all-time favorite place to take pictures?
Ooh, I'll mention a couple. The place I have not been to in many years, the Carterfold in Virginia. I love that place. I feel bad that I haven't been there in years, but I will get back there soon. Some of the places I love, like the Double Door, are no longer with us. I will tell you that I did not get to see the Avetts in upstate New York this summer, but I got to visit my old home stopping grounds in late July, August, and being on Cayuga Lake again after 42 years felt like home. So so it was. It's a mixture of places like that and where I grew up, and to go along with what we were just talking about with the Avetts. So things like that.
So
Yeah,
I'm guessing you had nice weather while you were up here because it didn't rain all summer.
it was beautiful. It was like we had that heat wave the last week of July, and then the rain came in, and suddenly it felt like the New York I knew as a kid.
Yeah.
And man, that was wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to have you back up here again.
I will be back soon. I will be.
Cool. I'm going to take you at your word on that. All right. Favorite photo shoot ever? I think I know the answer, but no
I
more.
will cite the Mignonette shoot, June 3rd, 2004. Yes, I do remember the date. And the two shows of Mr. Cash, June 21st, 2003, and July 5th, 2003.
That was my guess. That was my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Has anyone, and you're never going to throw anyone under the bus with this question, but I have to ask it because I thought of it. Has anyone ever been a super diva at a photo shoot and you couldn't wait to get out of there?
Yes, I'm but
maybe this is just a yes or no question. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yes, I won't name them. Okay, I'm waffling on that. But sometimes I like the challenge. Sometimes if you're dealing
that's a good way to put it.
If you're dealing with a Ted Nugent and he's being Ted Nugent, like, okay, then what about this? And it's like I have a lot of influence. I'm a fan of comedy from the 20s and 1930s and 40s. So in the duo act of comedy, so you've got the Lou Costello that's always going up, and you've got the Bud Abbott that is going down. So anytime you deal with somebody who's going up, I go down to bring them back to my level. And sometimes it works, sometimes it's just a fascinating mess. But it's almost like, okay, if this is where you are in the room, I want to see where it goes, and if it crashes and burns,
I love that. I love that you have that method. That's excellent.
That's perfect. Perfect. What's your favorite album of all time from start to finish that you never get sick of, that you can listen to anytime?
Revolver. But I said Revolver by the Beatles. The first Beatles album I fell in love with was Abbey Road. I first had that. Listen, that was 4, and your world is never the same. But I'll say that most days my favorite album is Revolver.
Good answer. All right, favorite late night snack.
Oh, whatever's available. Potato chips.
You're a night owl. You said you're a night owl, so you're up snack.
I'm very much a night owl. Yes. Potato chips, pretzels, way too much soda, way too much Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. So,
but in your excuse me, in your line of work, potato chips could be tricky, right?
It can be. Well, doing events, you learn that you could always, if you eat something quickly, and it's always should be something you could hide in your hand, because as soon as you turn around and grab some food, somebody asks for a picture, and sometimes it's the president of Bank of America, and sometimes it's your friend. So there's always, oh yes, let me take that picture now. So it's there. You learn to grab little things that you can eat quickly and then get back to work. So good little finger foods will serve you whether it's 10 p.m. or 3 a.m. Yes.
Okay, and you've lived in the South a long time. So what's your favorite fried food?
Chicken, which I believe it or not, I kind of got away from that for a long time. I had some issues that I had. I didn't eat a lot of fried stuff, and this year I kind of took care of some things, and while I can eat that again, I try not to daily, especially at 2 a.m. So, but yeah, that's the great thing about living in the South, going to county fairs, and you have fried everything, I'm especially fond of fried pickles. So yeah.
You said fried pickles?
Fried pickles.
Fried pickles, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
I think fried Oreos are up there with me too.
Yeah.
So funny thing. My son said his company had a fall festival today at work, and he's going on about it, and then he said they even had fried Oreos. they made it legit.
Love it.
One of the features of the state fair here in Raleigh every year is there's a fry machine. Anything you want to get fried, deep fried, and eat, they can do it. So
it seems like they're always trying to one up and have like the new fried item, and that becomes like the local news coverage, right? The gimme coverage of what they show off.
Yeah, this is fried enough. Well, we're gonna fry it more. Yeah.
Big thing at the New York State Fair a couple years ago. I don't know if they still do it, but it was deep fried ice cream.
Yes, and that one of me was like, "Oh my God, why?" And then there's me going,
"How does it work?"
Try that once. Yeah.
But it turns out it's really good, but really not good for you.
I'm gonna have to try that. Okay.
Cool, but Todd, you're a Dunkin' guy, right?
Nah, I don't drink coffee.
No. Well, Dunkin'. I'm talking about donuts.
Oh, of course. I'll eat
so at our state fair, they introduced, because we're the home of Krispy Kreme. I'm very much the disciple of Krispy Kreme, because they were actually invented in Winston-Salem, where I was born.
Oh, wow.
At our state fair, they have a Krispy Kreme cheeseburger where the bun is a hot glazed donut sliced in half.
It is so good, it's dangerous. Yes,
it is really dangerous. I had to try it.
I did that at Sugar Grove some years ago, and I was doing stuff with Carolina Chocolate Drops, and Dom Clemens was like, "We got to do this."
Yeah, right. I think I'm doing that this weekend. We don't have Krispy Kremes up here.
Well, it's almost that time of year, so we got to get ready. You got to start.
Let me tell you, we don't have Krispy Kremes, but anytime there's like a school fundraiser, somehow they bring in Krispy Kreme donuts. So we load up on them, and we
need to make a punch list for when you're down here next month. We need to check off, the Bojangles, the Krispy Kreme.
Yep.
I will tell you that when I was up in New York last month, I made a point of doing multiple Pudgy's pizzas. Because there had been a Pudgy's in Seneca Falls when I was a kid, and every Thursday, slices of pizza for 50 cents, and my life was never the same. So
I haven't been to a Pudgy's in 20 years.
it was just like the kid in me just wanted to just gobble that up. It's like, even like, let me the old days, let it sit in the car for an hour and then I'll eat it. Everything bad, it's just
Pizza.
so good.
Definitely not the best pizza in the world, but it's the kind of like if you grew up on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and the stuff we're talking about is like stuff that we discovered as kids.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, can you deep fry that? Like, cool.
Yes, you can.
Pudgy's pizza. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, well, I'm excited to come to North Carolina and meet you in person next month, and everyone else, Ryan included in that, which amazingly enough, we've never met before. But
oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, everyone says that. It's like, yeah, we've never met. We just do the show together. No big deal. Never met each other.
The internet brings people together. The internet and the
really
Avett
does.
Brothers and beyond brings
And
stuff
beyond.
Sounds like Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on, as always. And we'll have you back on after at some point. We want to hear what you think of Feed and whatever else you got going on. Whenever you want to come on, you have an open invitation to come on and talk about stuff because we love having you on.
Well, I'll mention briefly, and thank you guys for having me. I will mention that if you see this and you're curious about some things I'm working on, some things I will go ahead and tell you that are coming out shortly is among all the things that happened this summer, I got the Strawberry Alarm Clock a record deal with Big Stir Records.
Whoa.
Nice.
Same day I set up the deal with Arts Plus. That was a heck of a day.
Wow.
So that will be announced officially next week as we're talking here. I'm excited for y'all to hear the record, and the record's out singles out in October. I got to do the liner note, or not the liner notes, the bio for the band and helping them getting this record together. I'm finishing about 2 or 3 other record projects as a producer / archivist that I can share more with you guys soon. And like I said, I'm anxious to see what the next thing is, and I really hope to hear from the fans and what they would like to see in terms of an Avetts show, or what eras of the band they'd like to see in terms of a show. So please reach out to me, and please reach out to everybody you see here, and keep spreading the good word of the Avett Brothers. And what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? So God bless.
Yeah.
Love it. So, those shows got to happen with the photos. Avett Magic is a real thing. And,
yes, it is. All right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel. We will see you next month in Charlotte.
Next month in Charlotte.
I'm really looking forward. And please, if you guys are there, anybody who's listening to this or watching this, please come and say hi at the Hall of Fame ceremony, or sometime in the next month or two. And I just saw David last week. He's looking great. And that's as they say down here, this is going to be a big old do-up. So
yes.
Everybody there.
Can't wait. Daniel, thank you so much. We'll see you next time down the road.
See you soon.
Yep.
See you on the road.
Bye-bye.